Hey everybody, tonight we're going to talk about dividing integers. We've been talking a lot about multiplication, and division is really just the other side of the same coin. Division follows all of the same rules that multiplication does when it comes to positive and negative. If we have two numbers with the same signs, the quotient, that's what we call the answer when we do division, the quotient will always be positive. Positive divided by positive gives us a positive. And negative divided by negative gives us a positive. If they're different signs, we get a negative answer. 15 divided by negative 3, 15 divided by 3 is 5, but because one of them is negative and one is positive, the answer is negative 5. Same thing with negative 18 divided by 6, because one of them is negative, the answer is negative 3. With 0, the quotient of 0 and any non-zero integer is 0, so 0 divided by 17 equals 0, 0 divided by negative 9 equals 0. Now, there's one thing here that I probably should have included. Anytime we divide by 0, we don't get an answer. So if I did 20 divided by 0, we say that the answer is undefined. Undefined. So this happens anytime we have a number that's divided by 0. 0 divided by anything else equals 0. Anything else divided by 0 we say is undefined. So let's take a look at a few short examples here. We got negative 42 divided by negative 6. We of course know our answer is going to be positive because we have same signs. 42 divided by 6 is 7, and we make sure that it's positive. So there's our answer. In this case, our next example, we have a negative divided by a positive. Different signs mean our answer is negative. Okay? 56 divided by 8, I know that's going to give me 7, and I got to make sure my answer is negative. Negative 75 divided by negative 5, I know my answer is going to be negative, so when I'm thinking about this, I just want to think how many times is 5 going to go into 75? And that answer is 15. And then I check my sign, got to make sure it's negative because I had one positive and one negative in the problem. See, not too difficult, we just got to make sure we know our division and check our signs to get these problems correct. But what happens when we have bigger numbers that we're dividing? This is where long division is going to come in. Okay, you guys have seen this before. Before we start writing out the problem, I want to make sure I think first, what's the sign of my answer going to be? Negative 340 divided by positive 5, they have different signs, so I know my answer is going to be negative. Now, I can set up my long division. Got 340, and I'm dividing by 5. So 5 doesn't go into 3, but 5 does go into 34. It goes in 6 times, and I know that 6 times 5 is 30. Now I subtract here, 34 minus 30 gives me 4. I bring down this 0, and I have 40. So now I look at 5 and see how many times this goes into 40. 5 goes into 40 8 times. 8 times 5 is 40. 40 minus 40 is 0. And that's all we have left to do. Our answer is 68, and I got to check my sign. I said it was going to be negative, so I got to make it negative. There we go. Over here we got negative 249 divided by negative 6. I know my answer is going to be positive. Same sign, negative divided by negative. And set up our division right here. I'm going to ignore the signs when I write it out, because I already know what the sign of my answer is going to be. So now I got to think 6 goes into 2. 6 doesn't go into 2 at all, but 6 does go into 24. It goes in 4 times. 4 times 6 is 24. 24 minus 24 gives us 0. We bring the 9 down. 6 goes into 9 once. 1 times 6 is 6. And I get 3. Now, I've run out of room here. I don't have anything to bring down. And I'm not done, so what I can do is I can add a 0 on here after the decimal. So instead of 249, I now have 249.0. Now I can carry the 0 down, and I have 30. 6 goes into 30 5 times 6 is 30, and that gives me 0 when I subtract it. So now, since I added a decimal in here to the problem, I have to put my decimal up here. I'm just going to put right above where it is in the division problem. 41.5, and I said it was going to be positive, so that's my answer. Let's try one more example. 66 divided by -8. Different signs, so I know my answer is going to be negative. I'm going to set up my long division here. 66 divided by 8. I'm going to leave off the negative because I already know what my sign is going to be. 8 doesn't go into 6. 8 does go into 66 8 times, because 8 times 8 is 64. Now when I subtract this, I get 2. So here's another instance where we're going to have to add a decimal and a 0 right there. Now I can bring this 0 down. 8 goes into 20 twice. 2 times 8 is 16. Subtract, I get 4. Now I'm still not done, because I want to make sure that I get 0 as my subtraction answer, so I'm going to add another 0. I'm going to bring this down. Now I have 40. 8 goes into 45 times, and 5 times 8 is 40. I subtract, I get 0, and now I'm done. So I'm just going to add my decimal. I'm going to bring it straight up from where it is, and my answer is 8.25, and I got to make sure it's negative. Alright, that's our last example for tonight. Make sure you complete the rest of the notes, and don't forget to submit it. I will see you guys tomorrow.